to.
Hi, my name is Wendy Bond. I'm Director of Education for Lakme USA. We're here at the Lakme studio in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. And today I'm showing you gray coverage with our Lakme reds and creating a beautiful dimensional Titian red. So one thing I find with red hair is that sometimes it either lightens or you want to add a pop to it, but it can be too much to do the whole head. So what I've decided to do with my client Holly is I'm doing panels with our gloss color and our clay lightener, and then I'm going to do a glaze over the whole head. So especially on my redheads, I very rarely pull a glaze roots to ends. I prefer to do these ribbons or contour paneling. So for Holly's base color, I did use our 800 plus, our 8 copper copper, and our 7 copper gold as her base. It's going to give me amazing gray coverage and super shiny, long-lasting color. Like I said, one thing I really like about our gloss color, my contour pieces are an 8 level copper intense red, and our gloss is so thick that you can literally like hand paint with it. You can use your brush, you can use your fingers. So I find it the perfect medium to work with, especially on clients that have single process color on the root where you don't necessarily want to use a foil or something to separate it. So again, I'm doing this all in real time. She would have her single process color on. I would give it maybe a 10 to 15 minute head start. Then I'm going to do my contour paneling, and I'll leave that on another 10 to 15 minutes. So it's very simple. There would be an upcharge. That's going to be up to you. I would do maybe a third of what your single process color costs. So not as much as a foil because it's not as much work. So let me show you how I did that. One thing, a mistake I think people make when they do long hair or even highlighting, I always work with the hair in its natural form. So I like to let the hair drop. I like to let it sort of fall where it's going to fall naturally. And then what I'm going to do is just randomly pick up pieces. And when you're picking up, don't look at the scalp, look at what's in your end. So I'm judging, I want to have this piece be a darker ribbon. So I'm going to use my gloss color. And I'm going to start to paint with the corner of my brush. I'm only doing the top like in sort of classic balayage. Then as I get to the bottom, I'm doing that double-sided application. The cleaner my brush gets, the more I can walk that up the hair. As I lift it up, you're going to see there's not anything on the bottom. So I can go ahead and drop that and not worry about what it does to the rest of her hair. And even though I'm paneling, I'm getting enough saturation, but not a crazy amount of saturation. So that's one piece. So I'm going to go in and alternate placing my coppers where I feel like I need them, and then I'll go back and add a few brighter pieces as well. I've already done the bottom half of Holly's hair. And again, we tend to sort of think we have to section at a certain angle. What I would do is say, think of what you want to see, and that's how much hair I'm going to pick up. Is that going to be enough of a piece? Do I want this piece to carry on a little bit deeper? So I'm going to add to my section till I get the right amount of hair, so I can see where that ribbon is going to lay. And then I'll start the same process. And again, I can't overstate how nice it is to work with a demi color that's creamy and doesn't drip or run, so that once you put it in the hair, it sort of stays where you put it. Again, I'm really saturating the top. Then as I get to the bottom, I'll press the color through, and I'll do a little bit more on the mids and ends where the hair is very fine. Then when I drop it, I'm just going to lay it down kind of thoughtfully where I want it to fall so that it's not sort of contaminating the rest of the hair. I'm going to go ahead and use our clay lightener to do a little bit. Again, Lakme's clay lightener is really, really nice. It is creamy. It dries very firm. The best thing though is as it starts to dry, it doesn't flake on you. It doesn't become dusty. It really stays this nice kind of whipped consistency. Same thing, just kind of walking that color up the hair. So more and more, I know I mentioned this at the beginning, but even when you're thinking of pulling a regular gloss through the ends, I would say if your clients come frequently like mine do, they're on a 4-week cycle, 5-week cycle, occasionally try using your same demi or gloss that you're bringing through the ends, but I would say just pull it through parts of the pieces. Don't feel obligated to pull it through the entire head. And you'll get a more natural kind of finish to the hair. So again, I'm looking. Once I let these process for sort of that 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to take her to the sink and I will apply another overlay after I shampoo out the base color and the contour panels. I'm going to apply an overlay of our Gloss 1040, which is a copper natural at a level 10. It's one of my favorite colors to use because you can cut it with clear if you choose to. On Holly, I'll be using it straight, but the one thing I will say that 1040 is amazing because it really just gives you this very soft warmth to the hair without looking coppery, and it's so much nicer to use on a redhead than an actual gold. So I think I'm going to add one more blonde piece in the front, and then I'm going to be pretty much done with my paneling. I'm sort of a messy colorist, but for me that's kind of okay because it always gets back to being like, I don't know, that little kid who's like finger painting or something where you're just doing it very freeform. Again, I like to just sort of work with the hair organically and just sort of put the color where I want to see it. And if it gets a little messy, that's okay too. So I finished my paneling. Again, I'll let Holly process. Her root color has been on now about 20 minutes. I'll leave this on for another 15 minutes for a total time of 35 minutes at the root, sort of 15 to 20 from where I started with the color paneling contour, and then I will rinse everything, shampoo her with our Color Stay shampoo, do an overlay with our 1040 gloss, and you're going to get to see an amazing Tahitian red.